Flight 229, you're clear for takeoff.
Just like a flight plan, you have to know where you're going and how you will get there when you plan for retirement. Let Ryan Fleming help you chart out a course for your retirement with his intimate knowledge of financial planning and the airline industry. It's time for the Pilot's Advisor.
Welcome to another edition of the Pilot's Advisor. I'm Walter Storholt alongside Ryan Fleming of Fleming Financial Group, serving you worldwide, but based out of Georgia. You can email Ryan if you ever have any questions at ryan@flemingfg.com. You can also find more episodes of the show by going to flemingfg.com or finding us on your favorite podcasting app. Ryan, it is great to talk with you once again on today's show and a little special edition of the Pilot's Advisor today because we're going to have a special guest joining us. First of all, though, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing great, Walter. I'm actually excited because it's not 7 a.m. It's 10:30, so I'm a little bit more awake, and we have a very special show for all our listeners today, and I'm excited to do it.
Our regular listeners know we're pretty much usually 7 a.m. tapers of the podcast, so we're really lazy today, Ryan. We're just not getting going until 10:30 today. So
yeah, it's Friday.
Expectations are going to go up, though, because you've had more rest and time to prepare. So,
well, you know me well enough to keep expectations very low.
That's true. If we haven't learned that by now, we never will. But no, in all seriousness, it's going to be a fun show today. And to kind of tee things up a little bit, Ryan, you a while back really wanted to, in your efforts to help pilots and folks across the country and really the world better prepare for their financial futures and for retirement, you wanted to kind of bring things around full circle. We talk about taxes here on the show so much. You wanted to get even stronger in your ability to help people when it comes to their taxes and their tax preparation and tax planning and all the things that fall under that umbrella. So you kind of went out on a journey, if you will, for lack of a better term, to find a good partnership and somebody that you can help sort of enhance that service to your clients and help your ability to help folks every time you meet them. And so I'm interested to hear a little bit about that journey, which has kind of come to completion with the introduction of our guest today as well. So take us behind the scenes and what's been going on for the last couple of months as you've been kind of seeking out this partnership.
Well, of course, Walter, our niche is pilots and those in the airline industry. And, becoming better and evolving is always what you want to do. And I wanted to be a more holistic planner, and especially this time of year, it comes to taxes, tax returns, lots of decisions and conversations to be made. And so what I wanted to do is I wanted to find literally the industry experts out there, a CPA firm that catered to pilots, cared about those in the airline industry. And it took me on a journey. I probably interviewed 10 to 12 firms all over the country, Texas, California, New Jersey. I mean, you name it. I interviewed a lot of people. And after that, it came fit with a firm outside of Indianapolis called Pilot Tax, Zach Smith, a CPA. And it was just a great fit. And we're excited to introduce a partnership today and get you guys to hear from Zach and hear about their firm and why they're a great fit for us.
Well, Zach, welcome to the show. It's great to have you along with us today.
I appreciate it, Walter and Ryan. It's great to be a part of this, and this is mutual. We look for a group to work with and help advise our clients and into retirement and their investment needs, and Ryan's going to be a good fit for us.
Well, Ryan, I'll let you take it away. So Pilot Tax and the Pilot's Advisor, obviously, the names made sense to bring you guys together in partnership. What jumped out to you first about working with Zach and starting this partnership with him specifically?
Well, specifically, I needed, not only somebody that was an industry expert as far as the niche we have with pilots or those in the airline industry, but also somebody that could handle our other clients. I mean, we have NFL football players, doctors, and this firm has been around for a long time, and I'm going to let Zach tell us all about the firm. But they cater to pilots, those in the airline industry, but they can do any returns and are very astute with those new tax laws and everything else. So I'm going to turn it over to Zach and start asking him some questions. Zach, welcome. We're so excited about this partnership. It's going to be a great thing for our clients, for your clients. Tell us a little bit about yourself and about the Pilot Tax.
Perfect, Ryan. Well, I appreciate it. I'll tell you a little bit about our firm first. We've specialized in the airline industry for almost 30 years. And what a lot of people maybe not in the industry don't realize is that there's a lot of specific challenges that that face the airline industry itself. Base industries or airline bases, where do you live, where are you based, some of the taxation associated with, multi-state tax issues. And this is something we've been going after for 30 years and, stayed on top of, with the ever-changing tax laws. Personally, I'm a CPA in Indiana here, and my partner in the firm here has worked for the airline industry for over 30 years. He's with American Airlines. So between, expertise in accounting and CPA, and as well as his industry experience in the airline itself, we've been able to form a great firm here to really service those clients.
Well, that's what gets us excited, is because you guys cater to our industry. You cater to those clients of ours that are pilots or in the airline industry and have obviously a long future doing it. I know tax laws change every year, but just having that relationship, knowing how those clients are, I thought it was a great fit.
Have you ever wanted to learn more about the academic approach to investing and saving and planning for retirement that Ryan talks about here on The Pilot's Advisor? Well, if so, go visit pilotsadvisor.com. pilotsadvisor.com. You can watch a quick webinar on the academic approach to investing. It'll show you how not to speculate and gamble with your money. It's all based on Nobel Prize winning research. Only takes about 10 minutes to get through the video and watch it. Going to be worth your time, I promise you. Go check it out right now, pilotsadvisor.com. It's a webinar that covers that academic approach to investing. pilotsadvisor.com. All right, back to the show.
I'm going to ask you a really tough question, put you on the spot here, but you obviously already told us how you guys cater to the airline industry, but tell us how you're different just as a tax firm in general.
So we try to be an advisor and a friend. We want people to call us with questions. The airline industry is, continuously evolving, especially with everything that we've seen in the past year. And we try to be there for our clients. We don't want a once a year relationship where we do a tax return and then we see you next April. That's not how we operate. We're a resource for our clients all year long, whether it be in terms of strategy for taxes with their rental properties, or maybe they have a spouse with a small business, or, potentially last year we had a lot of guys and gals that needed to take a leave from the airline, and we had to structure income and structure tax planning, surrounding that. So we try to be that resource all year long and not just be a tax preparer.
Well, I think that's a great thing. Too many people just talk to their tax individual or their tax guy March, April, and they might have tax questions throughout the year. And you talked about before about when you have a question and you don't make that change in July, August, it just creates more and more of a problem around tax time.
Sure, Ryan. And it's absolutely worth having a phone call in the middle of summer. Nobody likes tax surprises. So let's have a conversation during the year, to avoid the big scenario in April or May when it's too late to make a change.
Well, we're going to get into some specific tax questions for our listeners, but there's been so many changes out right now with the CARES Act. It seems like, with new administrations, there's new tax laws, new interpretations of said tax laws. What's the best tax advice you could give to our listeners right now?
The best tax advice, that's going to be to tax plan, to not just fly by the seat of your pants, if you will, and to really do some tax planning. And this isn't something that can just be changed at the end of the year. We need to look forward a year in advance or 2 years in advance and really plan for what our expected income or life changes are. And it's not just income. We got to plan for family changes, plan for kids, plan for retirement. So the advice is to plan.
Well, and I think that was a perfect segue. One of the things we were looking for at the Pilot's Advisor is not just a tax filer. Too many people have, their tax guy or firm out there that just files their taxes versus being a strategic tax planner. And that's definitely one of the things we were looking for and how we found a great partnership with Zach and his firm here.
On that note, the tax return is the easy part. Preparing a tax return is easy. Getting to where we want to be on the tax return is the challenging and the enjoyable part with our clients is planning for that. We know at the end of the year what the tax return is going to show. It's just how do we get there?
It's a great way to think about it. I never really thought about it that way.
Well, hey there. We hope you're enjoying listening to the Pilot's Advisor today. Just wanted to take a quick moment from the show to remind you that if you have any questions ever about what Ryan talks about on the program, need any assistance with your financial planning, need some guidance to get to and through retirement, or whatever financial questions might be on your mind, don't ever hesitate to reach out. The simple way to get in touch with Ryan is to pick up the phone and call or text 843-475-3038. Again, that's 843-475-3038. You can also find Ryan online at FlemingFG.com. That's FlemingFG.com. And as always, we put contact information to get in touch with Ryan in the description or the show notes section of the program. So just check it out on whatever app you're using, and it's easy to get in touch with Ryan. All right, now back to the show.
Trying to segue a little bit so we're kind of catering to a lot of our listeners out there. Obviously, those of us that have more complex tax returns, I would never even think for a second to do my own tax return at this point in time because it's just way above my head and I can't be an expert at everything. What about those pilots out there that their tax return's pretty easy? They've been doing it on their own for a while. What would you say to them with all these changes and all these different tax rules and laws that have happened in the past couple of years? What do you say to them about maybe turning it over to a tax guy?
I'd say this is potentially the year to do it. Ryan, you and I have talked before about how, just by nature with every election, the tax laws are subject to change. That's exactly what happened, a couple of years ago in 2018 with the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. We've got a new Congress, we've got a new president. Everything's about to change. So, we harp on the tax planning idea, but the tax planning has to be continually evolving. So for somebody who's been doing their own tax return for years and years, and maybe it's presented itself to be pretty simple, I see some changes in the pipeline, potentially with the new administration and some of the things that they're proposing that may throw a curveball to that. And this is where tax planning becomes even more important in terms of structuring your income. And, Ryan, a lot of what you do with your clients in terms of structuring their retirement. Like you said, it's not just preparing the tax return. Anybody can jump on TurboTax or any other program like that and put the numbers in. But with the changes coming, I think it's more important now than ever to really think about structuring income and planning for retirement and planning for income.
And that's what's so exciting about this partnership is now we have a go-to guy for all our current clients, current listeners. We got tax questions. It's the time of your tax. And I know everybody gets so excited about taxes. I'm excited just talking about it. But we have a go-to firm now where we can actually ask these questions and, take away some of that insecurity and know that you're going forward with a great plan. And that's why we're just so excited about this partnership. But before we get into some tax questions, because what we're going to do going forward on the show, and I'm sure Walter will bring this up later, is we had an idea of maybe having one or two tax questions for our listeners on every show, especially this time of year when it's, taxes are on our mind. But before we go into those questions, is there anything you can tell us that you want to say to all our listeners, to your clients out there about this partnership and what you think about it?
I think this is going to be a really good partnership, Ryan. You obviously very much enjoy, planning and taking care of your clients in terms of their wealth and strategy and return on their investment. We feel the same way about taxes. We have fun with the taxes. We have fun. We help people understand it. And that's the biggest thing. And I think that's your strategy as well with your clients. We take an approach where we're your partner. And Ryan, and talking with you, this partnership, it seems like the Pilot's Advisor is going to be a great fit and somebody that can also be a great resource for our clients that we can send somebody we trust that, has the same business philosophy and client care philosophy that we have.
My question for you as we get ready to wrap up, Ryan, is what comes first? If somebody's interested in learning a little bit more about Zach services and your services of helping with the financial planning elements of all of this, do you get a financial plan in place first and then go into the tax direction? Is it best to address some immediate tax issues first? Kind of is the chicken or the egg first, and how will the flow work? Okay, good.
It's the chicken. It's the chicken. Come on. No. So what I would say, and this is something that's going to be ever evolving. I mean, taxes and planning for retirement. It's a living, breathing thing. What I can tell for our listeners, we've been sending out a lot of tax stuff via email here recently, but what we're going to use as a resource, if there's something on there that triggers for you to want to reach out to Zach and his firm, you can go to our website, and there's actually a button up there that says taxes, and it's going to link you directly to Zach and his firm to start moving forward. Or you can just let me know. If you're one of our clients, shoot me an email and let me know if you're interested in talking to Zach and his firm, and we'll actually have him call you and reach out to you. Because like anything else, just like an advisor, you want to have a good fit with your tax firm as well. And so we want to start there and see if that's a good fit. Zach, do you want to engage on this as well?
Yeah, and I think that's a good segue from Ryan, from Ryan to us in terms of advising. So, the clients you've got that have been with you, I think that's the right way to handle it.
Well, I really enjoyed getting to hear from both of you today and get to learn a little bit more about the partnership between the Pilot's Advisor and Pilot Tax. If anybody has questions or needs more information, as Ryan kind of alluded to, here's a couple of ways that you can get in touch. First of all, you can go to FlemingFG.com. As always, we'll link to all of these resources in the description of today's show. But go to FlemingFG.com and you can click on taxes, and that's how you can get to the Pilot Tax website. You can also go directly there, pilot-tax.com. Or you can also call or text Ryan at 843-475-3038, 843-475-3038, or you can email Ryan at FlemingFG.com. Now, again, if you want to get directly in touch with Pilot Tax, their number is 317-984-7666. That's 317-984-7666. And you can also email info@pilot-tax.com. And again, that was a lot of contact information. You can easily find all of that in the description of today's show, so check that out there. Thank you to Ryan and to Zach Smith for joining us on today's show as well, and thank you for listening. Coming up on the next edition of The Pilot's Advisor, Zach will be back, and in fact, Zach and Ryan are going to get into some specifics, tax guidance and advice and conversation, covering some important questions that you need to know, both about this year's taxes, but also tax planning for future years, for what's in store the rest of 2021 and looking ahead to next year's taxes. Believe it or not, now is the time to be thinking about some of those kinds of things. So we're going to have a good back and forth between Ryan and Zach next time around, so come back and join us on the next edition of The Pilot's Advisor. Thanks for listening. You've been listening to The Pilot's Advisor, featuring Ryan Fleming, a financial advisor at Fleming Financial Group, serving clients worldwide, but based out of Charleston, South Carolina. If you have any questions for Ryan on what we've talked about on today's show, maybe a future topic idea, or want to talk more about getting a complimentary review of your financial plan, here's the best ways to get in touch. You can go online to the website, FlemingFG.com. That's FlemingFG.com. You can also email Ryan. It's simply Ryan@FlemingFG.com. Or you can call or text to get in touch. 843-475-3038 is the number. That's 843-475-3038. Thanks for listening to The Pilot's Advisor, and don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcasting apps. We're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, and many more locations. So whatever app you like to use, search for The Pilot's Advisor podcast today and subscribe so you never miss an episode.
Information is for illustrative purposes only and does not constitute tax, investment, or legal advice. Always consult with a qualified investment, legal, or tax professional before taking any action.